Alright, we're beginning my final day in Tallinn with a delicious breakfast at Ruby Cafe. Pulled pork and eggs. Surprisingly great combo in the morning. Today I'll be taking a train out to the Tallinn TV tower, and on the way I'll see Kadriorg Park. Apparently there's some convent out there, forget the name of it, I want to say it starts with a P, like Pirita or something. The ruins of a convent. And then of course the tower itself, which it's a pretty clear day, so I should get a nice view of the city. And then tonight I fly to Latvia, so yeah. Let's get it. I'm very happy because it seems Tallinn has saved its best weather for my last day here. Gorgeous blue skies, sun is out, feeling great. And as I walk towards Kadriorg Park, I think it's important to take a moment and reflect on this trip, at least how it's gone so far. And I have to say, when I first got here, I was cautiously optimistic because, as I said, I've always dreamed of coming to Estonia. And it's really surpassed all my expectations. The people are lovely and warm, the food is delicious, the old town is out of this world. You feel like you're in a fairy tale. So really, even if today ends up being terrible, if the TV tower's a letdown, or if I just get so tired on this walk that I pass out, I would still say that this has been a successful trip for me. So I may just be delirious because I did not sleep last night as the jet lag reappeared. In any case, Estonia, so far, I love you. And we have now arrived in Kadriorg Park. Yes, you heard that correctly. I've been mispronouncing it, or at least misreading it this whole time. There's a second R, so it appears to be Kadriorg, not Kadriorg, as I said earlier, which is a good segue. People watching this video, remember that this is more about just seeing places in Europe that you might enjoy visiting and maybe making some plans based on the things I've seen. Please ignore the asinine things I say. The talking is really just to keep me sane as I do all these adventures by myself and don't really have conversations with people for days on end, with the exception of a few phone calls. So sometimes the things I say might be interesting, sometimes they might just be plain wrong, oftentimes they're pretty dumb. So take it all with a grain of salt and just enjoy the beautiful scenes that you can see in Europe. One thing I've noticed far less in Estonia, but a lot in Finland, is that I guess in this part of the world, not very often do strangers greet each other in a very familiar way, which obviously in America that's just courteous. So, you know, if you see someone who's walking the opposite direction from you, you make eye contact, you smile, you might say hi, how are you, anything like that. Maybe just a quick hi, or at least a nod. And that's considered polite, but when you do it in Finland, or in Helsinki at least, people look like you just landed from a freaking UFO. They stare at you, and they try to figure out first, do I know this person? Why are they addressing me? You can see their mind trying to figure it out. And maybe it's just because there are Finnish people in Estonia, or maybe some Estonians are just Finnish in their mannerisms, but I've had similar experiences here as well. So, I don't know, I'm very much a when in Rome kind of person, so I've been trying not to put people on the spot and make them feel uncomfortable by greeting them, but, you know, old habits die hard. So, something to think about for your Baltic state / Finnish vacation. After a brisk walk through Kadriorg Park, I found the Kadriorg Palace, castle. I'm actually not sure how it translates because it's Kadriorg Las, so it looks more like a palace to me, but then Toompea was called Toompea Las, and they translated that as Toompea Castle. So castle, palace, I don't know. Outside of the building has some gardens, a couple statues got Poseidon over there. My understanding is that the interior of this building has been converted into an art museum, which is of course a very common use for older castles in Europe, or palaces. One reason I've often maligned Germany, well, actually maligned is a bit of a strong word. One thing that's often annoyed me when I'm in Germany is the prevalence of the English language, because when you're going somewhere with the express intent of trying to learn that country's language, it's really frustrating if everyone immediately turns to English once they realize you're a native English speaker, doesn't engage with you in their language. You almost want to shake them and be like, no, I'm trying to meet you halfway, help me out here. But when you're in a country like Estonia, where I'm only here for a couple days, so I don't have a huge intention of learning the language, boy is it nice to be able to rely on English, because I don't know what I'd do otherwise. Makes a big world feel a lot smaller when essentially everyone's able to converse with you in your native tongue. It's a beautiful day for the beach. I mean, it's 50 degrees, but it's a warm 50. And it was 37 this morning, so 50 actually feels even warmer than usual. Not sure I'd want to be in the water like those crazy guys, but it's nice enough to stand near it. A lot of people like a sandy beach. Personally, I'm not a huge fan. I hate sand. It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere. Now we're away from the sand and nearing this monument to people who have drowned at sea. Or been lost at sea. I guess they may not have drowned. I don't know what the rule is on that. All the writing on this monument is written in Cyrillic, which means not only can I not read it because I don't know the language, I can't even sound it out because I really don't know the alphabet. As far as I can tell, it says something like Riasalka maybe? Rialsalka? Salka? I don't know, I'm pretty sure the P's become R's in Cyrillic. That's about all I can come up with. The walk to the Tallinn TV tower is a long one, but a somewhat scenic one. You get to walk along the water the whole time. I find water like this very calming to look at, so I'm enjoying it. That being said, if you're not a big walker, you could always take the bus, which runs along this road the entire way there. What we're approaching now are the ruins of the Pirita Convent. Pretty magnificent. So you'll see as we enter the doorway, there's no longer any roof on it. But the walls are still standing and seem generally structurally sound, so that's good. According to one of the placards out front, this building was constructed in 1417. So all things considered, it actually looks pretty good. If this gate slams shut behind me, it means I'm gonna die. Looks like it might have continued here before. Ah, yes, a medieval bucket. My gut says this is the most haunted building I've walked through so far in Tallinn. At the risk of sounding a little bit like I'm doing a bad Seinfeld bit, what's the deal with TV towers? These things are everywhere in Europe. I don't get it. Berlin, Vienna, Tallinn. People must have just loved the news. Here there's a memorial. It was, I guess, dedicated to those who helped protect the TV tower against Soviet forces who were attempting to seize control of it to try to manage the PR disaster that was the 1991 attempted coup. I think it was the whatever putsch. Can't remember the name of it, something push. But it's when Soviet leadership tried to oust Mikhail Gorbachev. It's one of the last big moments in the Soviet Union. On the second floor of the TV tower, there's a quick history of the building itself. Originally built in 1975, completed just in time for the 1980 Olympics in the USSR, which the US famously did not attend. Also found out that it's about 12 meters shorter than the Vilnius TV tower, which I'm going to see later in this trip. Now we go up 21 floors in the blink of an eye. Maybe not the blink of an eye, but pretty quick, considering it's 300 some odd meters off the ground. Wow. I didn't notice this hole at first. Genuinely very off-putting. Back over there is Old Town Tallinn, downtown Tallinn. You can see there are a lot more apartments outside of the city. I had no idea how densely wooded this part of Tallinn was. I guess the bus I took kind of went through it, but I didn't realize it was more a full forest. You can see right now they're doing some sort of exhibit on DNA, chromosomes, and all that. One thing I really like about this TV tower is that it has little camera holes so you can get a nice obstructed view. the Empire State Building. It's a bit windier and chillier up here. I guess it's to be expected, but still. So that was the Tallinn TV tower. Of the 3 TV towers I've been to, that one may be my favorite. The edge walk was a really nice touch. The cafe was actually somewhat reasonable and very tasty. And yeah, I don't know, had offered a nice view of the Baltic Sea, which, as I stated earlier, I like water. Later in the week, we'll see the Vilnius Tower, so I can give it a really good comparison since they were built by the same architect. Anywho, that is really all I came out here to see, so I guess now it's time to head back to Old Town, maybe get some more dessert at one of those cafes, because that was delicious, and have one final walk around the Old Town before I head to the airport, which I need to be there in about 3 hours, so yeah. One last view for the viewers at home. Now, just gotta find a bus, hope it's the right one to get me back. As I was taking my final walk through of the old city, I found out that this passage I walked through on the very first day was actually the St. Catherine's Passage I was looking for yesterday. So we're gonna walk through it again, then hopefully find some food, then head to the airport for our flight to Riga. And that is it from Tallinn, Estonia. It's a pretty unbelievable city. It's hard to rank it on my list of cities I've visited, just because obviously there's a recency bias, but it's definitely up there. It seems very livable, prices are fair, traffic isn't too bad, the public transit's great. Other than the weather, which as you can see is now turning, it's pretty much the perfect city. Now, unfortunately, the weather is turning, so it may be a bumpy flight to Riga, Latvia, but it's also only a 50-minute flight, so bumpy or not, Riga, Latvia, here we come. So Tallinn Airport's big campaign is that they're the coziest airport in Europe. So they said they know they'll never be the biggest, so it'll be the coziest. And I gotta say, they nail it. The vibes in here are immaculate. You got the nice faux wood floors, got this fun sort of, you know, like almost cottage ceiling. I mean, obviously an industrialized version of it, but nice colors, soft lighting, great food options, nice bars. It's pretty phenomenal. Also, getting through security was a breeze, so I always appreciate that. It's one of my least favorite parts of the flight. I mean, look at this. This is just awesome. It's a fun airport.